It's pathetic. Wait, the Tigers made the playoffs? I kind of just assumed they missed. They checked out the last couple weeks.
Well, it's time to check back in.
John is right. There's no pressure on this baseball team. They will win. Tigers in 2. I'm excited today. Playoff baseball.
Let's go, baby.
Let's get to the phones. Ron, you're next. You're on 97.1.
Tigers have become the guardian.
Yes, how you doing, guys? Hello?
We got you, Ron.
Yeah, Ron, how you doing?
Yeah. I'd like to say, can I ask you guys a question before I even answer right quick?
Yeah, just make sure your radio's turned down in the background.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you guys a quick question before I even answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you guys expect to win this all? We know we can't say, but who are you most highly favored to think that's going to win it all?
I'm going to go Phillies.
Okay. Who?
I'm going to say the Brewers.
Okay. Now, here it is. And that's the way I look at it. You made the example of the roller coaster, and think about the roller coaster, the opportunity to enjoy the rides while they're still there, even though you didn't have the experience. But you look forward to the next one, that whatever ride you go on, what it's going to give you. And you decided to be there for the entertainment. So, to me, y'all should make an option 4, because as a season holder, I did never the Tigers, but I was the football for the Lions, and I was a season ticket holder for about 11 years. And I used to get upset when they lose, come home, don't want to talk to the wife, go in the basement. So I was too much emotionally involved for something I couldn't control. So what I did is start enjoying the sport for what it is. Because if you're not even picking them to win, this be entertained for what it is. Now, I would like for them to continue win,
of course,
because I have been enjoying the baseball season. But I didn't expect them to win it all. So I'm not going to get mad on how far they go. I'm still just want to be entertained with baseball. And wherever it ends, it ends. Because I never picked them to win it all in the first place.
So you just want to ride the coaster as long as it'll go. I agree.
Until the last stop.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So they say your ride is over.
We could wrap the hour with some more of your phone calls. Dan Campbell at 9:35. Let's get to Heather with the news.
You guys, there's been a gator sighting on Belle Isle.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the Michigan DNR is investigating after somebody captured a photo of the reptile just chilling near, the water. Yeah. Officials say that this gator hasn't been spotted by staff, but the photo included, geolocation data from Belle Isle. They say that this is a credible photo, and they also issued a warning, basically saying, hey, releasing wildlife into state parks is prohibited. Also, it can be harmful not only to the animal, right, but also to the ecosystem and to public safety itself. So don't be releasing wild animals there.
We usually have a gator sighting here, too.
Yeah, but
it's normally not until closer to 10.
Kind of like this, officials say it has not been spotted by staff. Geo-tracking says he might be, I'm not sure, but
in transit.
Yes.
In transit, yes.
They also said that they have heard the rumors of a boa constrictor spotted on the island, but they say that's just a rumor. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. SEC Network host Paul Feinbaum is considering leaving ESPN to run for the U.S. Senate. So during a recent interview on Monday, he said that he is interested in running as a Republican for the U.S. Senate seat in Alabama. And he did say that he will be making a decision within the next 30 to 45 days. Says he never seriously considered politics before, but had one or two people in Washington reach out. So now he is definitely looking into things. The qualifying deadline to run for Senate is January 26th of 2026. So there you have it.
We'll see.
Let's see. It's been confirmed that Charles Barkley did, in fact, shower with his jersey on.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I didn't really remember hearing the story until I read this. I know
you
I've
remember
heard
it
it.
now,
I know
yeah.
I've heard about this. But a longtime employee of the Sixers says, yes, in fact, the rumors are 100% true. I'm guessing somehow he did confirm.
Yeah, well,
I know he
because
was sent on assignment to confirm the details. But
he was the equipment manager, right?
Yeah. At one
he
point,
wasn't
he was.
doing
He's done
the laundry.
He's done a lot of things.
Yeah.
So again, the story for people who don't know, Charles Barkley claims, and apparently did, shower in uniform to save time so he didn't have to wash the clothes.
Right. And so he, because you basically, you play the game and then you get ready and you travel the next day. So to save time, nobody was doing his laundry for him. He would just jump in the shower after a game, after he ate, and then would just
soap it up,
shower with the jersey, wash the jersey and his body at the same time, take it off, let it air dry, and then to be ready to pack the next day for the flight that he'd jump on next.
When he brought that up on Inside the NBA,
oh yeah, Shaq,
those guys could not contain themselves. John, you've never seen anything like that.
Well, no. I mean, we
pro locker rooms. Nobody's walking into their football pads and suds them up.
No, because we have 7 days between games, so it's going to get washed. In fact, some of them just get cut off and disposed of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if they're so tight sometimes that you can't actually get them off, so you just cut them off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Don't freak out over this next story, but yawning too hard could kill you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a woman in England that is going viral because she shared a story on TikTok about how this big yawn almost ended her life. So she was this happened a while ago. It happened back in 2016, but she's sharing the story. She was about to feed her baby. Her kid yawned, and you know how yawns are like contagious.
Yeah.
So after the baby yawned, she yawned as she was doing like a big stretch. And she says she immediately felt this like shock in her neck. And it turned out that her yawn was like so forceful that 2 vertebrae in her neck, she says, shot forward into her spine, but they actually compressed her spine and she was paralyzed for a while. And doctors gave her a 50-50% chance of making it. Said she might not even pull through. She was in a wheelchair for months. She had to learn how to walk again. And she still has issues almost 10 years later, including severe nerve damage.
What was this stretch that she was doing while yawning? Yes, please. Yeah. More of that.
I picture like any stretch where you raise your arms up over your head as you're, I don't know. So next time you yawn,
just be careful.
Don't stretch at the same time.
Don't stretch at the same time.
Don't yawn too hard, I guess. Also, quickly, there's a new trend. I don't know if you've seen it on social media where people are taping their mouth shuts to sleep.
I've seen this.
I have
so
too.
stupid.
I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
Influencers say it's like a hack for better sleep, but doctors are saying it's a bad idea. Don't do it. One doctor says first, the studies behind mouth taping are very small and the benefits are very modest, but there's great potential for risk, including making sleep disorders like sleep apnea even worse, or you could suffocate yourself to death.
Yeah.
So
it might save some marriages.
Well, it might, yes.
You know something? If
tape
your
her mouth.
Wife's like, hey, I saw this trend.
Try this, sweetie.
Yeah.
Never sounded better. All right, Heather with the news. Dan Campbell next, 97.1.
Hey, I want to highlight the great value your Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers are bringing our listeners this month, and maybe you need a new truck in the driveway. Get Motor City's hottest truck. It's the GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation for an unbelievable $199 per month. Another thrilling option is the GMC Sierra EV, built to exceed what you thought an electric truck could be with over 600 horsepower, and that comes standard. These deals are happening right now at any of your 20 Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers. GM estimated horsepower rating must be a current lessee of a 2020 model year or newer Buick or GMC vehicle through GM Financial for at least 30 days prior to the new vehicle sale. Tax, title, license, dealer fees are extra. No security deposit required. Mileage charge of 25 cents per mile over 20,000 miles at participating dealers only. Residency restrictions apply. Visit gmcofferinfo.com. That's gmcofferinfo.com for more details.
All right, we got to be timely here. Jared Goff going to be on at 10:05 with Carson Anderson, so we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I need time to get in the truck.
We got some Tiger fans been waiting on hold patiently. We wanted to know where you're at today. The buzz, is it in the air for playoff baseball? Some of you guys are burned out. And then how's it going to go? John said Tigers in 2.
Mm-hmm.
I say Guardians.
You Costa-locked it.
I did Costa-lock it, so you're welcome.
Tigers fans are thanking you.
Yeah. For as much as we've brought up Tarek Skubal today in the advantage, and it is an advantage, right, Johnny? You win game 1, you win these series every time since they shifted to the format. Skubal's the better pitcher. But let's not overlook Gavin Williams, who this year has been a Tiger killer. Mm-hmm. In 3 starts against Detroit, he has a 1.06 ERA with 29 strikeouts. If you were in Cleveland today, you'd be going, we got our guy on the bump too. And they have a better pitching staff altogether, top 5 in baseball in ERA. And if Detroit can't score, it doesn't matter that Skubal's on the mound.
And it's kind of one of those chicken or the egg, right? Because a couple of those starts were against the Tigers in the last 2 weeks.
Right, recently.
When the Tigers were not hitting anyone, let alone, a decent pitcher.
A good pitcher in Gavin Williams.
So, I mean, the question is that who he is, and that's who he's going to be every time he faces the Tigers, or is the lineup going to come alive? And not that you're going to, enter the playoffs and it's not going to be a 6-run first inning. We'd all love that, but that's not likely and it's not probable.
Well, but how about just something like, how about Parker Meadows gives them a double to start things off today? It's a lefty-righty matchup, put a little pressure on them.
Well, that's how, let's go back to Houston last year, Parker Meadows.
He had a hit in every single playoff game last year, including the games against the Guardians.
Yeah. And so, that would be the ideal way to start things off.
And I think there's a lot on Kerry Carpenter who had moments. There's a lot on Riley Green who had a bad finish to the season, but he gets that lefty-righty matchup. Mm-hmm. Let's get to the phones. We've got Mark. You're on 97.1. Mark, the note says real Tigers fans are excited about this game.
Hey, guys. You hear me?
Oh, yeah, we got you now.
I'm sorry. First off, great call with Cam. Fantastic. I could listen to that guy read a phone book.
Yeah.
Second, I want to address a call that you guys took about a half hour ago where the quote-unquote loyal Tigers fan talked about how he just needed some reason to cheer today. Guys, I want to ask you a trivia question. I just turned 50 last week. Do you know how many playoff teams we've seen in 50 years?
Go for it.
It's 9.
Mm-hmm.
I was 30 before I saw the Tigers play in the playoffs a third time. Like, the best pitcher in the world is taking the hill today for the Detroit Tigers in a playoff game. If you don't know why you're fired up, then you're not a Tigers fan. You're not a loyal fan. If you don't know why you're excited today, don't come back. Don't come back. You don't need to be convinced why you're a Tigers fan or why you're cheering for the Tigers today. You were never a Tigers fan if you needed to be convinced to be a Tigers fan today. I'm out.
Oh,
mic drop. Look, if you are a fan of this team, you look forward to playoff baseball, even if the odds are stacked against you. And for the record, they're favored today. So
yeah,
anyway.
Well, yeah. It basically his message is: are you going to be a Tigers fan only when you're a front runner? Only when things are good, or can you also be a fan when they make the postseason, yet they don't do it the way that you wanted to? It didn't go by design.
Distinction. You can be a Tigers fan and not believe they're going to win every time they play, but you're still a fan. You show up excited to watch and root them on, which is that's this weird line that we've had, the like baseball burnout guys.
Because if they had no chance, they wouldn't play the game.
Right. But the baseball burnout guys have given them no chance. They won't even watch. They won't even invest a minute of time into watching them today, which is bizarre to me. Even if you don't think they're going to win, you still go in, fingers crossed, see what happens.
Yeah.
AD, good morning. You're on 97.1.
Hey there. How you guys doing today?
Morning, AD.
What's up?
It was actually 18.
Oh,
but,
18.
I'm born and raised a Tiger fan. Since 1968, my grandmother took me to my first game at Tiger Stadium. I've been a Tiger fan ever since. And the loyalty that my grandmother showed while she was a Tiger fan is what makes me a Tiger fan. I'm born and raised in Detroit. True grit. as the Lions would say. If you're not a Tiger fan, a real fan, you don't understand the grit of folks from Detroit. So I don't want to hear people. I'm embarrassed when I'm traveling the world and people ask me about Tiger fans and say that we're not really fans and things of that nature. And I have to defend the Detroit portion of it. Detroit Tigers represent the city of Detroit. If you're a fan of the city of Detroit, then you are going to go whether they win or they lose. You're going to stick with your team. I've seen plenty of bad teams throughout my existence in Detroit, but I still never waver. I never give up on them. And all I'm saying to all real, true Detroit Tiger fans, have fun. Watch this game. Root us on. We're going to win. If we don't, we'll win again. We're going to win sometime. But I'm never going to give up. That's all. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
AT, appreciate the phone call. He's Team Tigers in two, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. At least the ones that are dialing in have been very much on Team John.
I'm not shaming people if they don't think the team's going to win.
No, I'm not going to shame them either, but you're still going to
tune in, pay attention.
do whatever you got to do to
exactly. That's where you and
keep
I can
tabs on the Tigers.
Meet in the middle on
1
that.
1:00 today.
Yeah. Our coverage is brought to you by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. You guys got Goff to get started.
Yeah, right out of the gate. So 10:05.
Right out of the gate.
10:05. Yeah. For the quarterback, Mr. Goff.
Yeah.
We got hard-hitting questions.
Always
Actually,
do.
we got something funny.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah?
He's crossing a bit of a threshold.
Oh.
In that Sunday's game will be his 70th with the Detroit Lions, surpassing the total he played with the Rams.
Yep.
Wow.
So we're going to ask him if he's now Midwest hard.
He's Midwest
tough.
What now?
Oh, right, yeah. Instead of West Coast soft?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yep. If we toughened you up, Jared, the weather, the cold weather, the grueling Tuesday interviews with us.
Grueling.
Yeah. Yes,
Can't
asking
wait.
all the hard-hitting
Right out of
questions.
the gate.
All right, Carson Anderson. Also leading into Tiger playoff baseball. It's next, 97.1.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Carson Anderson program. I am Doug Karsh. That is Scott the Gator Anderson. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Doug.
How are you today?
I'm all right.
Yeah. Anything exciting last night in the Gator household?
Well,
because there were some doozy football games on. Really, really good matchups.
yeah, they were something. Nothing exciting with those games. And then I was also watching Red Wings, so nobody else had to. Because that was also instead of a doozy, that was a dozy. That'll put you to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I started death scrolling on my phone.
Oh God.
Yeah, that just
in this day and age, that's
it really sucks.
You should know better.
I should know better, and I started it at 11:15 last night. I'm waiting for the sports to come up and see Dan Miller and Hammer giving an update on the Tigers and all this. I'm waiting for that, right? And I'm on my phone, and next thing I know, I've paused the TV so that I don't miss sports, and I'm scrolling. I look up, and it's like 12:45. I'm like, what just happened?
Wait a sec.
What just happened?
You went for an hour and a half
Yeah.
before you caught yourself?
Yeah.
Dude.
I know.
Show more discipline.
Good advice.
Wow. Well, did you solve the world's problems while you were doom scrolling?
There's a dialogue that goes on with myself.
Yeah. Circle back.
It's such a wild group of things that I'm watching, the videos, too. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Between animal videos, then there's something like music videos come up. There's interactions with police that come up. There's some political stuff that comes up. And then back to animals.
Dude, your algorithm is probably nothing like mine. So.
Oh, I'll guarantee it's nothing like yours.
Yeah.
Doug, do you even have an algorithm?
Do I?
Yeah,
I have
like...
eliminated. So for Twitter, I don't use our show account. I've got another account, and I've eliminated almost everything that isn't sports related. And it's basically only stuff that we would use for work. Because one of my life's goals is to land the plane on this career and log off of social media forever. And that is one of my life's goals.
You had asked me last week if it would be okay to get rid of one of the people that we follow on Twitter with our joint account.
Yep.
And I dismissed it at the time, like, no, it's fine. After last night, I'd like to. Is
Okay.
it okay? So I would agree.
Okay.
We no longer have to follow this person. But before I got
NFL person, is that who you're referencing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before I haven't done it. I wanted to confer with you because we share it. So there we go.
Been waiting to do this for a long time. You, sir, unfollowed.
Did you do it?
I did it.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah. Well, it's somebody that
It's not even him. It's not even the name. Somebody took over an account.
Yeah.
You want out it? What on? Oh.
No, because I don't want people to follow him.
All right, well, that's a good call.
Yeah. But because I think he's terrible.
He is terrible.
But
whoever it is, that person sucks.
Yep.
All they do is retweet everybody else's stuff or throw a little horrible opinion about stuff. There was something with a pass last night, or it was a tackle last night, that this person had retweeted about, like, they're trying to take Tua's head off. And I'm like, actually avoided it brilliantly. And what are you talking about? What are we doing?
Right. Well, I don't know. We're not going to miss that account.
No.
But I asked you first because it's
did.
a mutual show account that I'm on when we work here, and we have a Twitter poll question today, and we are asking you what's going to happen in this best of 3 series with the Guardians. Go vote. You can vote for Cleveland wins in 2, Detroit wins in 2, Cleveland wins in 3, Detroit wins in 3. Go vote. It's interesting what's happened so far, and we will get to what those results look like coming up shortly. But it's time to talk to the quarterback. Jared, as always, thanks for being with us here on the Carson Anderson program. And this Sunday will be your 70th game as a Detroit Lion, surpassing the 69 games that you played in Los Angeles. So let's start with this. Are you now a Midwest boy? Are you no longer California soft? Are you Midwest tough?
For sure. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And yeah, officially a Detroiter for sure.
It's great.
Is there something you can point to specifically that makes you a Detroiter? Is there something you like recommend to others that come into town? And you're like, no, this is how it's done over here.
Gosh, that's a good question. I wear a lot of Carhartt. I mean, that might be part of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You know, when it gets cold, you know, the thing that keeps that I'm still California about though is when it gets cold, I'm putting on layers, and a lot of these people here are not, which is crazy to me.
You had told us once that you originally bought a big puffy coat, and you might have bought
snowboarding jacket.
You don't have that anymore?
No, I don't need that anymore. I've graduated from that.
All right, good to hear. All right, let's get to football. First time in Lions history, 3 straight weeks, not a quarterback sack. And it's more than just the way the offensive line is playing. But let's start there. How about the job this offensive line has done in weeks 2, 3, and 4 protecting you?
Yeah, they're doing a hell of a job, man. They really are. They're taking a lot of pride in it. They're playing well, obviously, and they're intentional about it. I mean, they really are. I think the play calling has been great, too, to take a little bit of pressure off them in certain situations. But last week, you know, those guys on that Cleveland D-line are no joke. Obviously, Miles is the headliner, but all 4 of those guys up front are really good players, and our guys did great. We had a plan for Miles and to chip and to do all sorts of things, but Decker and Panay were on an island quite a bit, and I thought Decker in particular had him do it himself a lot and was really good.
I think a lot of people misuse the word mobility when it comes to a quarterback. They assume that it just means running straight down the field, able to pick up 20, 30 yards, and don't look at the intricacies of just being able to maneuver through the pocket. You look more agile in the pocket, dare I say elusive. Is that something that you've consciously worked on in the offseason, or am I just imagining some sort of training montage?
Yeah, I'm always working on that. I don't know if it's something I've put more emphasis on this year rather than others. I'm always trying to get better at that through the offseason in different training ways, and you know, working on my foot speed and quickness in the pocket. And it's you know, I'm obviously not going to run for a ton of yards, but if I can keep my feet hot and move around the pocket, you know, quickly, it helps us.
Your quarterback rating right now, it's only 4 games, but it's 113, which would be the best in your career. But we know you well enough to know that you're probably looking at what you can do better. So after 4 games, what are the points of emphasis for Jared Goff to do better?
Oh, man. You know, I think each game it changes. So I guess, I mean, it's hard for me to summarize 4 games. I think I can give you a good answer after this past game. Just not to forget about those checkdowns. I don't think I threw a checkdown once, and to make sure that I'm not, you know, always looking for a big play. I think it bit me in the behind there on the one that I threw to JMO that was not even close to open and got picked off. But just making sure I'm not forgetting, you know, how good our running backs are and how good our tight ends are in the flats, and how good that has been for us, you know, over the last 4 or 5 years.
You guys are off to a 3-1 start. Great start, and you've got Cincinnati coming up this week. Dan Campbell talked about how you guys are just built that you don't look past anybody. And I wonder, is that part of also the tough love what happened Sunday after the game? Dan Campbell said to you guys in the locker room, you know, it just wasn't good enough. You guys are holding yourself to an amazing standard. Is it everybody on board with this? Is it leadership? How do you keep up with this mentality to stay focused week to week?
Yeah, we know we need to continue to improve, and I think there's a fine line there, and I think Dan does a good job of finding that where, you know, I think, you know, if we're going to be specific with what he said, I don't believe he said it wasn't good enough. I believe he said it wasn't good enough moving forward. It was good enough to win on Sunday. It absolutely was. We won by 24.
Yeah.
But offensively, and in some areas, if we want to be who we say we are later on in the year, no, that probably won't get us where we want to go later in the year. And that's, I think, what he meant. And he's right. And there was a lot of different things that I had my hand in that could have been better in that game. And I think, yeah, it's good to win a game. A dirty win by 24 points feels pretty good. So we got to find ways to improve and get better. And Cincinnati's got certainly things that will challenge us this week that we got to find a way to beat.
Jared, your second touchdown to Amon-Ra, we could hear you, it sounded like change the play at the line of scrimmage. And then after the game, Dan Campbell said that touchdown was next level stuff. That's all pre-snap. What did you see, and what did that make you say, okay, I got to check into this play? What were their cues that tipped you off that you needed to get out of what you were doing and into what obviously was a touchdown?
Yeah, I think it was a third down. It was either third down or second and longer. And they were bringing a zero blitz. They were bringing it right up the middle. It's something they've done and something I remembered from the week of preparation. And, just checked into a screen there, and St. Brown did the rest. And, I like to think at this point in my career I should see that stuff. I should make those checks, and it should be no problem. But there's a lot of prep that goes into it and a lot of work. And, we have a whole week to prepare, and that's going to try to take a lot of pride in being able to recognize those looks and get us into a good play.
How much of an offense's success is due to pre-snap reads and your ability to read a defense before the ball snapped? And I guess everybody on offense.
Our offense or other offenses?
Your offense.
Our offense it's very critical, I think, to what we do. There's a lot of offenses that just snap the ball and figure it out after the snap, and typically those are not the top of the league, but sometimes they are. Sometimes there's guys that can make that work, but the way we do it here is a lot of pre-snap adjustments, pre-snap thoughts. Whether it's me, Graham, even St. Brown, the running backs, making different decisions pre-snap on what they want to do, and there's a lot that goes into it through the week that gets us prepared for Sunday and allows us to kind of in our own way be a step ahead.
Is that similar to how things were in your first 69 games?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's how we did things in LA to some extent. Every offense is different, and the league has changed so much and evolved, and it's hard to compare the two directly. But yeah, there was a lot of pre-snap stuff as well while I was there.
Has there been one adjustment throughout your career, or just specifically with the Lions? I guess you get to the line of scrimmage and you just start to smile inside because you know that you're going to change it into a play that's going to work for you, or a play that you want to run. Is there something like that works for you?
I don't know if I can remember one in particular. I think we so often have, we have this like perfect play mentality, or we want to get into a premier play all the time, and sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. But when the play call does come in and we get the look we're looking for, and I'm able to either stay in the play that is initially called or check to the second play that's called in the huddle, or the third play that I have in my back pocket. Yeah, those do feel good, and then when it works, it feels good. It doesn't always work, but you try to put in all the work throughout the week to make sure you're putting yourself in a good position. And yeah, when you're able to check into the play that you feel like is for that look, and then it works, yeah, you do feel pretty good about it.
Jared, I know that this is something you got to deal with in your profession, but it worries us to death, and that is injuries. They're starting to pile up on defense again. How do you guys process that and move forward when guys are going down all around you?
Yeah, you kind of feel for the guys. I mean, you definitely feel for the guys. The first guy I think of is DJ Reed, and I know we'll miss him for a little bit, but he was such a great, addition to our team this offseason, and he's been a great leader and the whole thing. And we'll just really miss him. I know there's a number of other guys. I don't know what Terrion's situation is, but a number of other guys, like you said, have been hurt, and you feel for them. But at the same time, it's truly next step up, and our guys have done a good job over the years of stepping into those roles and making it work and doing a good job.
Last week, you guys had the short week because of the Monday night game. This week, it's going to be the Bengals that have the short week. Explain to everybody, what's the toughest part about having that short week and getting ready for a football game?
Yeah, you're just a little bit behind. There's no way around it. It's just, the math of it. I don't know what time they landed last night, but they're starting on us, now in theory, and we started yesterday, and it was the same thing for Cleveland last week, and we were a day behind. So yeah, it sucks. The hardest part is you're tired. You're landing at, for us from Baltimore, I got home at 4:30 in the morning, and you're expected to go to sleep and wake up at whatever time and get back to work. So yeah, it's not ideal, but everyone in the league has to deal with it, and we got ours out of the way last week, and now they're dealing with it this week.
Lastly, have you scheduled your fall photo shoot with the family yet? Is it going to be Halloween themed? We got a pumpkin patch going, cider mill. What are you being told to expect?
Right. We have not scheduled that yet. I would imagine that'll be coming down the pipe for me. I'll have to put some time away and make sure I'm ready for that. I think we're kind of working on Halloween ideas. We don't have that pinned down yet either, but you can get really creative now that we've added a third member of the family, and it'll be fun.
Well, we look forward to seeing social media posts of that. what you guys opt for. Hey, good luck this week against Cincinnati, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
There he is, Jared Goff. A little earlier than usual this week, but great to have him with us always on Tuesdays here on Carson Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket. Football season is here, and the University of Michigan Credit Union debit card makes game day even better. When you use your Michigan debit card at Chrysler Center, the Big House, or Yost, you'll score discounts on fan favorites like popcorn and souvenir sodas. It's a perfect way to show your team spirit all season long. Don't miss out. Get your Michigan debit card available exclusively from UMCU. Visit umcu.org to get started today, insured by NCUA. Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97 The Ticket. You know, Dan Campbell said it Sunday after the game that it was next level stuff. And then he said it again today, talking to the morning crew about Goff pre-snap and so much that he does that we don't even know about. And I always find that stuff fascinating. I love I mean, maybe it's just me, but I love when games are over or seasons are over and they can go back and tell you what happened on a specific play. And Jared said, he saw they were going to blitz up the middle, so he got out of whatever play they called, snapped. It basically was a wide receiver screen to Amon-Ra, although I don't know that there was necessarily blockers out there, but it was snap throw right out there to Amon-Ra, who beat one man and scored a touchdown. It was all pre-snap, and it's also interesting that that's how they built their offense. Because when I asked him how much of success or failure is pre-snap, he said, in our offense or all offenses? I want to know about their offense. So and as he said, not everybody does it that way. But that is feeding into the strength of the player. Jared Goff is exceptionally good at processing information and acting quick on it. And I don't know if there's another quarterback in the league. I can't say this. I want to say he's the most prepared and smartest quarterback in the NFL. But I don't talk to the other 31 guys. I don't have knowledge of their offense. So saying something like that.
What about that Zoom meeting we have?
No, I don't.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, so when I hear stuff like people like say he's the smartest quarterback in the NFL. Do you know them all? Like, do you? Because I think what's clear is he is amongst them, and they've got it tailored for him. And boy, is it an impressive offense. It's an impressive offense. And I just knock on wood that they stay healthy. Like over the weekend, Malik Neighbors last night. I don't know how many people saw the Tyreek Hill injury, but once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. But a lot of it
wasn't just crossing his legs.
Yeah, keep this quarterback upright and healthy, and like the way the line is protecting him. That's a big part of it, man.
It's huge. It's huge. And of course, health is it's like the number one concern after winning game. You want to win the game, and then you want to get out of it healthy. And the Lions didn't get out of it healthy last week with the injuries to the guys in the secondary. Got some better news on that yesterday that perhaps it's not as serious as originally thought for DJ Reed. Terry Arnold may or may not play on Sunday. They get good news coming out of Lee McNeil. He's going to return to practice, which means that he can be activated the next 3 weeks for game time. We'll see when that is. Not likely for Sunday, but we'll see when he's ready to come back. What Dan Campbell said this morning, 94.6%. Let me know when you're 94.6%. And Lee McNeil said, yep, will do. Hey, coach, I'm at 94.6%. Funny. That's good. It's good that they can get him back quickly. But, yeah, this year is like any other year in the past. You see guys go down with injuries, and it's brutal. Whether it's Joe Burrow with a turf toe, which doesn't sound like it's debilitating, and yet it is, and he's out for 3 months, or it's Tyreek and, a dislocated knee and ligament damage. And that's, from week 2 to week 4, what we've seen here. And there have been others in between. Malik Neighbors with the ACL done for the year. It's brutal. It's a rough, violent game.
Yep.
And this is one of the reasons why it's so damned important to invest in your offensive line to help protect the guy who's going to lead the team down the field, which is the quarterback.
Okay, this is obviously a big part of our story is this first-place football team, but there's also a Major League Baseball team in town that will play a MLB playoff game today, which I don't know that collectively I am sensing enough buzz and excitement over this because people, their faith is eroded. It's still a playoff game, and anything can happen. And all you got to cite is those, I don't know, it felt like 100 different Red Wing teams that went in as a president's, a trophy winner and then was out, right? Just amazing how playoffs, and those are best of 7s. This is a best of 3. Crazy stuff can happen in a best of 3. Mm-hmm. And we have a Twitter poll out there about this, the predictions of what's going to happen. Let's get into it a little bit. Tigers and Guardians, best of 3, 1:08 first pitch, right here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll update you on what the Twitter poll says. If you comment on the poll, there's a chance we will read your comments on the air. But we'd love to hear from you. Will the Tigers win this series? Not can they? Because they can. All right, they can win this series. Will they? Gator said yesterday they would.
They will. And I did.
I wish I could see it the way you saw it, but I don't think it's impossible. Let me be clear on this. And the last time this happened, I want to point out, Gator said that the Lions were going to beat the Ravens. Kang and I both disagreed with him. And what happened, Gator?
The Lions beat the Ravens within 1 point of my prediction.
Yep. And I don't want the fact that you missed it by a point take away from your credibility.
Right, yeah. Well, thank you.
Still a decent prediction.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Yeah, I wasn't even going to mention that you missed the score.
Yeah,
but you brought it up.
Thank you.
Anyway, why did the Tigers win this series, people? If you believe so, or why not? I think the why not cases are probably a lot easier to make because you just go with what your eyes showed you last. It's Tigers and Guardians today. We'll talk about it next. You're on 97.1 The Ticket.
Have you ever opened or closed your garage door and you heard a noise and you're like, the hell was that? What's going on? You're not sure who to call? Here's what you do. Call the great folks over at Precision Garage Door Service today at 1-800-DOOR-REPAIR. They're going to come out. They're going to diagnose the problem. They're going to fix the problem because each technician's truck, well, it's essentially a warehouse on wheels. So they typically have the necessary parts on hand to complete your repairs right there on the spot. I've seen this firsthand. They came out to my house a bunch of years ago and I was having sluggish garage doors and they fixed the problem right there. And they even told me, hey, we know some problems with the garage door that you're probably going to need to get new doors in the next 5 years or so. And when that happened, you betcha, I called Precision, and I think you should too. 1-800-DOOR-REPAIR is the telephone number, or you can schedule an appointment online and schedule it at your convenience by going to precisiondoormi.com. That's precisiondoormi.com.
All right, so Tiger fans, Gator thinks they're winning this series, and we want to know who's with them. And please give us a tangible reason why you think they will and they can win this series. Because, and we'll record some of these predictions down. We may as well, and then revisit them after the series is done and see who, if anybody nailed it. Because I think there is something to be said for the streaky nature of the game, and they are due to turn it around. But that's not really something you can latch onto. That is sheer wing and a prayer hope, right? Is that I think they're going to turn it around today. Why? Because
like you're thinking.
I'd done they're bound to turn it around. I did that thing for 3 weeks because we had such a long track record of them being exceptionally good. Then they were turned into what authentically felt like the worst team in baseball. And they never really pulled out of it all the way to the finish line. They did just enough to get in, which is an accomplishment. I mean, one of the reasons why those games early in the year matter is because you keep stacking wins, and then you can survive if you do hit a horrendous slump, which they did. They earned it, okay? They earned getting into the postseason because you get into the postseason based on 162, not based on the last 25, but 162. But now when it's do or die and the season could be over by, tomorrow mid-afternoon, why are they going to turn it around now? What is it about this matchup that gives you confidence? 248-539-9797. I can find one tangible thing, and I'm not even sure how much I believe in it. But I'll hang on to that. Maybe somebody will say it. But, Gator, your tangible reason yesterday was?
I just think that the pitching is going to be better than what Cleveland's got. And Cleveland's got really good pitching, but I think the Tigers going to outlast it. I look at some other things and see that the Tigers lineup against Cleveland this year, they hit home runs. They hit like a home run per game, and Cleveland the Tigers had 13, I think, or 14 home runs, I think, in the 13 games, and Cleveland had 7. But the difference is the Tigers' home runs are basically all solo shots. They have a bunch of guys that get on base via the walk, but they weren't able to bring them home. And the way they were able to score the runs was really through the home run. I think that trend is going to change in that there'll be guys on base when they hit home runs this time around.
The home runs they've hit lately feel like they've been the least damage home runs you can hit. A lot of solo shots.
Yeah. So I think they'll still be able to get guys on base via the walk. I think there's going to be a real concerted effort to have better at-bats against Cleveland than what we saw in the 6 games in the last couple of weeks. An alarming amount of strikeouts was prevalent throughout. I mean, the 19 in the one game is ridiculous. I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see them be more patient at the plate. Guys going to get on base, and then you'll actually have somebody on when somebody launches it over the fence, which is going to pay off bigly for this team.
All right, let's get to your phone calls. We go to Tony in Ferndale. You're on 97.1. Hi, Tony.
Morning, fellas. How's it going today?
Okay.
Hey, big game today. Everything turns around today. 0-0. Look, you might call me blindly confident, but I think the difference maker, we all know what Scooble's going to put up today and in the playoffs. He's an all-star. He's our guy, right? But Casey Mize is going to be huge in this playoff race. He's had a really good last couple months for us in the very darkness of this baseball team. So I'm hoping that we put him out tomorrow for hopefully a decider on the series. But I'm hoping that Mize really shows up throughout the entire playoff run that we got. Big game, Jack Flaherty. I'm not sure. It's inconsistent. So we got to make sure that Casey Mize produces alongside Scooble, and hopefully the bats answer with them. But I'm headed down to Progressive Field right now. I'm fired up. We're going to go out and win this series today.
How much further do you have to drive?
I got about 45 more minutes before I get down there.
All right, you'll be good. All right, well, good luck.
3-1. That's the final score. That's what I'm going to go with. Put it down, Doug.
All right, got it written down, Tony.
Way to go, Tom.
It's got game 1, 3-1. They haven't announced who's starting game 2, have they?
No.
Okay.
No, I would imagine it's going to be Casey Mize.
I would too, and I think you'd rather have the more veteran guy going in a do or die game 3. Although I guess tomorrow could be do or die.
True. The problem with Jack Flaherty being that veteran guy is Jack Flaherty does not have a great track record in the postseason.
And that is something-ish. He's pitched better against good teams.
That is a fact this year with how he's done. I mean, last year he just pitched great for the Tigers, traded to the Dodgers, pitched great for the Dodgers, got to the postseason and wasn't great, but he still did start a couple of games, I believe, in the World Series. So I don't know. It seems like it just makes more sense with how Casey Mize has pitched against Cleveland this year with an ERA of 2.0 that he would be the guy to go in game 2, but we'll see.
We go to Bill on a cell. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Bill.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
I have full faith in the Tigers playing in a 3-game series, especially with Skubal pitching the first game. If they take that, it puts everything on Cleveland, and I think we'll see finally Cleveland collapse. So that's the way I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, last year the Tigers took a 2-1 lead, and Cleveland won 2 do-or-die games. Like they were, if the Tigers win this, it's the same thing. Cleveland will have to win 2 in a row to win the series. They did it a year ago against this team, Bill.
Yeah, I understand that, but the bat's got to come alive sometime here.
Well, that sounds a little bit like saying they're due.
They are due.
I would think that they're due.
Yeah, I guess we can all agree that they're due.
It's not a great philosophy.
It's just not a great case for building why they're going to win this series. All right, so our question was Tigers versus Guardians, best of 3. What is going to happen? Here are your choices. Cleveland wins in 2. Detroit wins in 2. Cleveland wins in 3. Detroit wins in 3. You can go vote at DunGator971 on Twitter. Updating the voting as it stands right now. What do you think the most popular answer is? Cleveland wins in 2, Detroit wins in 2, Cleveland wins in 3, or Detroit wins in 3?
Detroit wins in 3.
Okay. There's a lot of votes for it. It's pretty evenly spread out. Detroit wins in 3 is the number 2 response with 26.3% of the vote. Detroit wins in 2 has 31% of the vote. Cleveland wins in 2 has 24.7% of the vote. Cleveland wins in 3, 18.1% of the vote. Vote and comment. We will read your comments on the air, but we'll also take your phone calls on the air, like Joe in Highland is next. Hi, Joe.
Hey, good afternoon or good morning.
What's up?
So I think Tigers win in 2, no problem. Skubal is going to be a bulldog today, but I think what's going to happen, we're going to see some of that first to third base running that we've been missing for the last few weeks. We're going to get guys on bases, and Gator said it. We are not going to have empty bag solo home runs. We're going to have multiple home runs this series. We're going to win 5-2 today. We popped that balloon on Saturday night. We popped those bottles, and everybody, we got nothing to lose. This team reminds me of the Cardinals that took us out several years ago. We're going to be the Cardinals, but we're the Tigers. We're winning.
That Cardinal team actually had a bad September as well and went on to win the World Series.
So annoying.
We got him. Hey, Doug?
Yes.
Doug, I'm getting a little upset with you. You sound like a person that got served a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You get in the playoffs, but you want your crust cut off. We're going to eat the whole sandwich, okay?
Oh, boy. Put the big boy pants on. Enjoy the crust.
Doug, are you going to eat that?
I would eat an entire peanut butter and jelly sandwich, yes. I have no problem with that.
You do get the Uncrustables.
Yeah, you do love that.
They were quick and easy for kids' lunches, and then they happen to be convenient when you were in a hurry as an adult as well. Kang, do you guys have those yet?
We do not.
Yeah, just wait.
But they don't have crust?
The Uncrustables?
Yeah.
No.
You don't like crust?
You can't buy Crustables. They're uncrusted. They made them with crust.
Would you eat a crust? Would you eat a Crustable?
Sure.
Why do you suppose they don't make them with the crust?
I don't know. It looks like they're just pressed down on the edges.
Well, because a lot of kids don't like crust, Gator.
I guess.
That's why, honestly.
Not this kid.
You still make them to this day
I
for
know.
dinner.
He did say a couple weeks ago, I had a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner. We didn't comment on it at the time, but we laughed.
So I made 2 this morning. I had 1, put the other one in a sandwich bag, and it's waiting at home.
Yeah. Did you pack yourself some fruit snacks too?
I did not.
You made 1 for later today at home?
I left it at home, yeah.
Oh, okay. You were intending to bring it to work?
Well, I figured, the shorter show today because of watching the Tigers win. I can enjoy it while watching the Tigers win.
I see.
If that's what I so choose.
Yeah, but you made it this morning.
I did. Yeah. Typically, if I'm going to make, I'll make 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and I'll throw them down at the same time. But one sufficed today.
248-539-9797. More of your phone calls and feedback on the Tigers winning this series. Please give us a reason as to why, other than they're due.
And do you slaughter your bread?
All right, it's postseason. It's back, and Twin Peaks can't wait to host you for all the action. Take the long lunch break today and head over to your favorite lodge to enjoy all the awesomeness that is postseason baseball, with all the awesomeness that is Twin Peaks, wall-to-wall TVs, Scratch Kitchen that serves up the best wings and burgers in the state, the coldest draft beer in the country, like this month's featured beer, New Belgium's Juicy Haze IPA, and an extensive bar that serves up your favorite bourbons and tequilas. And what brings it all together? The beautiful and hospitable Twin Peaks girls, of course. Come see why Twin Peaks hosts the ultimate man cave experience, and do it today. What a great day. And don't miss out on this weekend either, with the local college teams back in action, UFC 320, awesome pro football action on Sunday. It doesn't get much better than that. It is Twin Peaks Eats, Drinks, Scenic Views. Let's hope so. Gator Tigers taking on Cleveland today. And there are tickets still available?
Yeah, I saw this on Twitter. Tigers Turmoil, who does a lot of tweeting about the Tigers. Love his stuff, or her stuff. Said that there are plenty of seats available in all sections. So it's a 3-hour trip.
They couldn't sell this out?
We are 3 hours from game time, less than. But yeah.
Is there any doubt that if the Tigers were playing today, even despite them limping home, wouldn't they sell out?
I would imagine be really close to a sellout, if not a sellout. Yeah, because you'd have people from Cleveland coming up too.
Well, they have people.
I know
from
there's
Detroit
short
going now.
Short notice. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Well, Cleveland fans they're just different, I guess.
Wow. I mean, I don't mind if the stadium's not full. Let's go.
Yeah, flood it with some Tiger fans.
Yeah. Another Detroit takeover. Yeah, there are tons of seats. I'm on the Guardians website. There are tons of seats available. Cheap and if you really want good seats. Outfield bleachers here. Well, they're cheap. Outfield bleachers, $133. What about upper deck here? Upper deck. Yeah, you can get in for $50 down the.
There you go.
Yeah, down the first base line. I mean, you're going to be way down the first base line, but. All right, 248-539-9797. Jason in Royal Oak, you're on 97 a ticket. Hi, Jason.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
The Tigers are totally winning this series. And, first off, Scooble's going to be lights out. But we're winning it in 2. And the reason we're winning it in 2 is because our pitchers, especially like Mize and Flaherty, have seen Cleveland a lot. They're going to be pitching great in this series, all right? Whoever gets to pitch, And our relievers are also going to be pitching great because they've seen Cleveland a lot. If Colt Keith ends up coming back, we're winning 2 series.
All right, so here's my question for you, Jason.
Yep.
Isn't what you just offered up as a reason why the Tigers have a leg up on Cleveland exactly true of the Guardians as well, that they have seen Detroit a lot?
No, because Cleveland hitters are not – they don't have any bats, Cleveland does not have bats, in my opinion.
Well, I sort of agree that the lineup overall isn't impressive, but the few guys that can hit every game against the Tigers, and they've scored more runs than the Tigers have. So, I mean, I still feel confident the Tigers will win this series, but somehow Cleveland finds ways to win games. The Tigers need to cut that off.
Well, hold on.
I hear what you're saying, man. All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm just actually for Gator. The Tigers have scored have scored more than 100 more runs than Cleveland.
I'm talking about the series.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then yeah, the Cleveland is 643 runs, which is 28 out of 30
Yeah, they've been
teams.
very pedestrian during the course of a season. They just find ways to win games. Their pitching has been great.
And they have Quan.
In my opinion, they're not going to be winning this series. And do you have any news on Colt Keith?
He's not playing this series.
He's out for this series, and they hope that maybe if they get to the next round that he might have a chance to be on the roster for next series.
Look, that does hurt. There's no doubt it hurts. But, everybody has to deal with injuries. You got to find a way to power through it. No point in making excuses. Just play the guys you got and overcome it. That's just how it works. 248-539-9797. Who do you think wins this series and why? MLB postseason is a different animal. This is from Fred in the Shed.
Oh, okay.
MLB postseason is a different animal. I like our chances. We have seen time and time again players turn into different versions of themselves come postseason. We have players that have shown they can be great. They just need a good month. Marlon Wall Lake says, gentlemen, not only do I get the matchup I was hoping for, but the Tigers will win 2 straight to eliminate Cleveland and get the thorn out of their back. I can say with the utmost confidence, they will easily win this series. Tigers in 2. The pitching will get it done with ease. Let's go Tigers.
I wouldn't say ease.
Well,
just hope they get it done.
That was just a whole bunch of they're going to do it because I think they're going to do it and they're going to do it. And is that tangible?
Well, here's what I'll get. It's not tangible at all, but when we played that AJ Hinch cut,
yeah,
I loved how the team reacted.
Sure,
I mean that was like a Braveheart. I mean,
they're trying to capture
reaction.
something. Yeah, they need a little William Wallace right now.
They do
because It does kind of feel like their intestines have been pulled out. But yeah, they need.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. Jeff in the car says the Tigers will win for 2 reasons. 1, the pressure is off. 2, the winner of game 1 always wins, and we have Scooble.
I'm still your William Wallace reference still
Sorry.
hurts. It took me like 4 times watching that movie to figure out what happened there.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't show it. It's just implied, and I didn't realize that was what was going on.
Okay.
I wasn't up on my medieval times.
Well, you know me in movies.
Torture. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, game 1, this is a must-win. I mean, seriously,
Yes.
I get very literal about the must-win thing, but no, today's a must-win. If they don't win this game, I think mentally this is the card they have to play. They're holding this card that's an effective card, and if they play it, it isn't good enough. I think it'll be severely demoralizing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lose by 2 touchdowns tomorrow. They have to win this game. They have got to win game 1.
Can't waste another Scooble start. They've wasted a couple of them against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And part of it was Scooble's own fault last time because of a horrible sequence of events. Throwing the ball between his legs, trying to get the run around at first when he could have picked it up, turned, and thrown. And obviously the accident of hitting Fry in the face with a near 100-mile-an-hour heater. He looked rattled after all that, and after the game he said he wasn't, and he had conviction about it too. So hopefully all that's flushed and behind him, and he's ready to go tonight, this afternoon, and be dominant. He needs to be dominant. The Tigers feed off of his energy, and I think if he gets a couple strikeouts in the first inning, you're going to see that fire early from Tarek Skubal. Particularly if it's the third out of the inning, if he strikes somebody out, him coming off the mound is going to be explosive, and it's going to be that way all afternoon.
If Tommy Canley plays it all in the playoffs, I'm checked out. That's from an unnamed texter.
Well, he's going to pitch at some point.
Hinch will not be able to bench Kerry Carpenter. He's going to have 2 multiple hit games with a home run in each of the Tigers' first 2 wins to sweep Cleveland. That's from Fred.
I believe he's in the lineup tonight. I keep saying tonight. It's today. And he is.
Tangible, the Guardians have only 2 players with an OPS above league average.
Yes, but in games I've watched.
In games against the Tigers, it feels like they all do.
Yeah.
The bottom of the order has been killer.
The number 9 spot in particular has just been death.
Hey, guys, I played the lottery a bunch of times in my life. I've never won once, so I'm definitely due. That's from Devin in Detroit.
Go for it, Devin.
Yep.
Can't win if you don't play. It's up well over $400 million right now.
Is it?
Yeah, Mega Millions.
So we're gonna break
Close to $500 million.
Break out another edition. Are you going to eat that? Or not? Are you going to eat that? Would you buy? Sorry, would you buy? Are you going to eat that? Comes later in the week. Hey, guys, this might sound a little crazy, but I'm going Troy Milton tomorrow if we lose tonight so I can preserve Casey Mize for game 3 if that's the way it goes. Love the show. It's from Ryan.
Troy Melton is going to play a huge role in this series out of the bullpen. And for the previous texter that was concerned about Tommy Canley, Troy Melton is an anecdote to that. He comes in, he just gets guys out, and he can go multiple innings. Hopefully today is a start where Scuba goes like 7-8 innings and you just shut things down, and then you don't have to worry about the bullpen.
I got to tell you, and maybe he needs further explanation. I do not choose my game 2 starter if they lose based on who I want in game 3. I choose my game 2 starter, and oh my God, who's going to win this game?
Yeah.
And if that means Melton and Mize, so be it.
Now, what would be interesting is if never mind, strike that. It doesn't even matter because I was going to say if they win the first 2, then it's done. But will Melton, if they split the first 2, let's say thank you.
Was Gator about to say if the Tigers win the first 2, who are they going to pitch in game 3?
Who pitches in game 3? If they split the first 2 games and Melton isn't used out of the pen, is he a possible to start?
I guess he
game 3?
could be. 248-539-9797. All right, so I'll give you one tangible thing.
Got out of something really could have been stupid there.
I
talked myself out of it before it got dumb. I almost got real dumb with that statement. Almost.
We can count on you about once a week.
Thanks.
I'll give you one thing that I'm going to try and build a case around here.
Come on. Saying there's a chance.
Well, I think there's a
I
chance.
think it's a really good chance. Better than 50%.
I'm going to give you the one thing that makes me say this could be the Tiger series. If I were to pick the Tigers, it would be based on this. We'll get to it at 11:02 here on Carson Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket. All right, so look, I'm not convinced that the Tigers actually have a pitching advantage today. Skubal has been great this season, but Cleveland has done an exceptionally good job of winning the Skubal starts, especially of late. And Gavin Williams has been unbelievable against the Tigers. His 3 starts against the Tigers, last 3 starts, 6 innings, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts, 5 innings, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts, 6 innings, 4 hits, 12 strikeouts. In his career against Detroit, he's gone 38 innings, 26 hits, 55 strikeouts. 38 innings, 55 strikeouts with a 1.88 ERA. Gavin Williams has mowed the Tigers down and is as good at striking them out as anybody. And Skubal can match that. Here's the problem that I have with the matchup today. And I'm not saying that Skubal can't win it. I'm just saying I think the card that they are playing has every chance to be as equally as effective as our big ace in the hole here in Tarek Skubal. He's got to move through the Gribe lineup quickly. If you take a look at these 2 critical losses that he had, that the Tigers lost, okay? The Tigers, Skubal didn't get up a bunch of runs, but Cleveland got him out of there early. In the 3-1 loss to Comerica, remember that afternoon game, that Thursday afternoon game? We were like, okay, Cleveland won the first 2, but it's okay because Skubal's going game 3. Tigers lost 3-1. Skubal handed a 1-1 game to the bullpen, and they lost. And the reason is because it took him 21 pitches to get through the first inning. And after 2 innings, he was at 35 pitches. Cleveland was extending at bats, fouling pitches off, taking pitches, and got long at bats and basically burned Skubal out early. So they had to get more out of their bullpen. 2 losses ago, the 5-2 loss last week. The first one was 2 losses ago. 5-2 loss last week. It took him 18 pitches to get through the first and 17 pitches to get through the second. Again, it took him 35 pitches to get through 2 innings. So the last 2 times they played Cleveland, Cleveland's won both games. And it wasn't because they did damage to Skubal. It's because they got him out of there. And their approach to Skubal has been long at bats, drive up the pitch count. And in fact, 3 games ago, the Tigers won a game in July. It took him 18 pitches to get through the first inning. This is clearly what they're going to try and do. Foul off a bunch of pitches, be very selective in the strike zone, and drive up the pitch count. And this formula has worked for them. But I said I was going to build a case for why I think the Tigers could win this series. I think we can all agree today's a must-win, right? They have to win this game. And if they lose the Skubal start, I think first of all, they got to, obviously now their backs are against the wall, but I also think mentally it could be a death blow. Gavin Williams has 1 career postseason start.
Yep.
And it was last year against the Yankees, and he got shelled.
He gave up 3 hits and 3 runs and didn't last through I think he was out in the second inning. I think they took him out. This is to the third.
This is a different stage. It's a different animal. And so I hope that this is what I'm building it around, is tough for him. It's in the back of his mind. Didn't pitch well last year in the postseason against the Yankees. It's a different pitcher a year later, maybe, but that's what I'm going to build it around, is that the stage is one that I can hope is too big for him, or that, if something goes wrong early, that it gets in his head. If Parker Meadows leads off with a 4-pitch walk, or let alone put one in the gap, something. Does it rekindle the, here I go again in Gavin Williams?
Yeah, I understand that. And the strikeouts they had the last time they faced him was, Tigers struck out 12 times against Williams and 19 in the game. That was awful. And you look at the Tigers in their career against Gavin Williams, it's been very difficult for the Tigers. Tough sledding. Gleyber Torres, who might be their best situational hitter, has struck out 5 times in 10 at-bats against Williams. Spencer Torkelson is 1 for 10 with 6 strikeouts. Riley Green actually hit him for a home run, but he's only 2 for 14 with 5 strikeouts. The guy who's had the most success against Gavin Williams has been Javi Baez. He's 3 for 6 with a home run, 3 RBIs. He's off. Look, give your respect to Gavin Williams. He's been outstanding, particularly in the second half of the season. But it's not like Cleveland gets to have a great time against Skubal. In their lineup, they have 2 guys that have hit Skubal. Stephen Kwan, who is 6 for 19 in his career, 316 average, and Jose Ramirez, who is 12 of 36. That's a 333 average. Skubal's only given up 1 home run to the guys that are in the starting lineup today. That's to Noel, the first baseman. But he's hitting 154 against Skubal. It's tough sledding for both lineups against these pitchers. I don't know if we're going to get the classic pitchers duel, and it's first team to get to the other team's bullpen wins. Cleveland's bullpen's better.
Yep.
So it's incumbent on, and to your point about the Tigers, and for Skubal in particular, that he doesn't get his pitch count run up. He needs to throw 110 pitches maybe in this game. I mean, I would feel comfortable if he was over 100. I'd feel very comfortable because I think he can absolutely do it. I mean, it used to be the standard, and now it's like it's a miracle if you get to 100 pitches. But if he's going to do that, hopefully he's pitching into the 7th inning or into the 8th inning and can close that out. So you're turning it over to a bullpen with just 3 or 6 outs to go.
It's
and a lead.
It's incredibly important for him to not have long innings early in this game. I mean, you've got to get through 18 innings, 18 pitch innings, 21 pitch innings, which he's been the last 2 starts in the first inning against this team. You can't do that.
And the Tigers are the same way with their offense and how they attack things, because they've gotten pitchers in trouble in the first inning or 2, and then they let them off the hook.
It's not as important for Cleveland, for Gavin Williams, because of their bullpen.
Yeah. But, I mean, if Gavin Williams is done pitching after 4 or 5 innings, I feel like, okay, that's a battle won. But nonetheless, they still have to have great at-bats, and they have not had great at-bats against Cleveland. That's been a real struggle, and I imagine that's a point of emphasis for A.J. Hinch over the last couple of days in preparation for this.
All right, we'll talk to the people next. The best of what Dan Campbell told our morning show at 11:30. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
Hey, replacing a roof, that is not something that most of us look forward to, for good reason. I mean, it's a huge investment, and that's why choosing the right company matters. And for over 30 years, Michigan homeowners have trusted Shana Roofing. And here's why. Not only are they local experts with a proven track record, but every roof they install, it comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. Now, that means that your investment is protected for as long as you own your home. And this is key. And even if you sell it, thus the transferable warranty. Plus, Shana Roofing has earned a 4.9-star Google rating from thousands of happy customers. That kind of trust doesn't happen overnight. It's built on decades of quality work and customer care. So if your roof is aging, leaking, or you're just ready for peace of mind, go to mymichiganroof.com. That's mymichiganroof.com. Powered by Shana Roofing, Michigan's trusted roofing experts.
What?
No, man, Tigers. Let's go. Let's go.
248-539-9797. Samuel, you're on 97 on a ticket. What's up, Samuel?
You want me to add like a half bench on all of the men?
Samuel, are we ordering food?
Yeah, that's fine.
What are we ordering?
What's on the menu
What are
today?
we ordering, Samuel?
Sam.
Let's go to Ron. You're next on 97 on a ticket. Hi, Ron.
Hey guys, how are you? I love the show.
Thank
you. Thanks,
Love
Ron.
the show. So, I don't have any faith in these guys. I really don't. I don't think AJ Hinch had a come to Jesus meeting with these guys like Tom Leland did back in the day.
Jim Leland.
And I don't think Derek Screwball is. He's just waiting to get out of there to go get paid.
Oh, come on. Wait,
Okay,
Ron.
hold on.
You think Tarek Skubal is just waiting to get paid? There's no fire in his belly to win?
I don't think so.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so let me wait. Do you think
I don't
that
see
winning games like this would get him paid more?
Probably not. But I
really?
just
Okay.
Don't think I don't think his heart is with Detroit. I don't really do.
Whether his heart is with Detroit or not, if his heart is with how much money he can make, would you not say that postseason success would help drive up his price?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
But I mean, I predicted a lot of cool things on this radio show with the other guys, like with Jim Harbaugh coming to Michigan and a couple other things. And
that's cool.
I just predict the Lions are not going to make it. I don't. And if they do, I am the grounds guy at Timber Trace Golf Course, and I just got done cutting fairways. I will buy you guys a round of golf if they make it. If they make it past Cleveland. I know you guys love golf. I listen to you every day.
Yeah. Okay, but we may take you up on that, and tell you what, Ron, I'd like to also invite all the people listening to join us for a round of golf on Ron.
Well, that's not going to happen. That ain't going to happen. I only got 3 more weeks here left, and I go down to Florida for 6 months. So
we'll make the tea time.
I enjoy.
Make the tea time for May.
Make sure you get rid of those leaves, and we'll talk about it.
Dan is in Warren, and he's next there on 97 on the ticket. Hi, Dan.
Sucker for
Good morning, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
I had to call in.
Yeah, I know.
Where's all this optimism coming from? The Tigers they won 1 or 2 series in the last 3 months, and the pitching's not going to hold up. I mean, I just can't. I don't see it. Other than Screwball, I don't see Flaherty or Mize doing anything. Mize can't hold him to save his life.
Mize has pitched awfully well,
And
actually.
Flaherty pitches well against good teams.
But I guess here's why, and I'm not going to be flippant about this, Dan. I look at the way that this team has played baseball over the last year total, like maybe the last year and a half. You start when the Tigers got on their roll last year, right? Just after the All-Star break and went on a tear, got into the playoffs, caused some disturbances in the playoffs, beat Houston, lost to Cleveland in 5 games. And then they started off this season, despite getting swept by the Dodgers, then they picked up and were the best team in baseball, not for just a couple of days. It was for a long, long time. Yes, they've been on a horrific slide, without question. But if you watch, it's still the same players. It's not like injuries have ravaged this team. To me, this can be fixed with a mindset if they can get their minds right. I don't think there's mechanical issues. I don't think there's physical issues. I think it's all above the shoulders and between the ears. This team needs to remember what it's like to be the best team in baseball. They're capable of doing this. The bats went silent over the last 50 games, 60 games, and I'm not sure why that is. But the first 100 games, the first 95 games, they were one of the best offenses in all of baseball. It wasn't just done with some great pitching. The offense was top 10 in OPS, in runs scored. They were hitting home runs with guys on base, and they need to get back to that. And because we've seen that, I could see it happening.
I just, at the beginning of the year, they had Job, they had Olsen, and I forget who else. The pitching has been decimated over the year.
Yeah, but Job didn't pitch well for the Tigers, and he was out early. Reese Olson has been was in and out of the lineup with injuries, and then he was out of the lineup. And maybe they get him back if things go longer in the playoffs this year. We'll see. But I don't look at those guys as really being guys that contributed a ton to their success.
This is why it isn't impossible, though, is because there are players with track records and reasonably long track records of being much better than the way that they have played. Look, Dan, if you're going to go with what your eyes showed us last, they've got no chance.
Correct.
That is something that I will agree with. And to the previous caller who doesn't think Scooble's heart is in it, I can't imagine that Scooble is not motivated to win this game. Scooble, it's not like his offseason and he hits free agency Friday. He's got another year here in Detroit, and he has a chance to drive up his price. And, didn't the question get asked to him, would you take $40 million a year? And he was like, yeah. Well, maybe you go out and you dominate in the postseason.
Was it $40 million a year? Was it 8 years and 400? I think was the number.
Whatever the number was.
Yeah.
Whatever the number
was the number.
Some astronomical number was suggested to him on a podcast, and he said, yeah, that'll work.
That sounds nice.
Guess what happens if the Tigers ride Scooble to victory in this series, the next series, go on and win the World Series because of Scooble, the way guys have done it in the past, like a Hershiser did back in the day, or when one pitcher just becomes unbeatable and carries a team. Then you might get that $400 million contract. So, that's why I think the idea that his heart's not in it, he doesn't want to be here. If all he's thinking about is his next contract, this is a big start for him today. 248-539-9797. Now, it's not the be-all, end-all. He's going to be well paid either way, but if he's worried about money, it's good to do well in the postseason. Dan's in Ann Arbor. Hi, Dan.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
How are we doing?
I am still trying to locate those boots that I have lost that shoot the boot bet. So clearly the Guardians won the division, so I owe you that.
Okay, good.
Won't be today, maybe later in the evening, but we can hopefully it'll be a celebratory beverage. Beverage is probably what it's going to be. I looked at, I was reading some Athletic coverage in the Athletic. They said the Guardians have the second worst team on base percentage by the Colorado Rockies, right? So they're below 300. I know that if you just go post All-Star break, it goes above 300, and the Tigers are kind of right there at 304. I still think, and I was there in May when Scooble pitched against Cleveland to that Maddox, that near-perfect game he threw 6 innings. And I think he has that in him, and I think he's going to deliver that today. And that's why I think the Tigers win today, and they're going to win the series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's a path to them winning the series without winning today. So this is it. This is huge.
And, I watch, as I've told you before, I grew up in St. Louis. I watched Tony La Russa just manage in the playoffs. And I think the Tigers have the intangible of A.J. Hinch. If it hasn't been said, you can say it again and amplify it. I think he'll be a better manager than Stephen Vogt.
I think when you if you just look at the two teams, I think one team is a better team. The unfortunate part is that team is not playing great baseball right now.
No.
But I think the Tigers inevitably are a better team than Cleveland is. But Cleveland has played way better down the stretch than the Tigers have, and that's why all this doubt is cast, and I totally understand it. I don't know why I'm banking on this, having this day off and this reset with the mindset with this team and feeling like they really did accomplish something by getting into the playoffs on Saturday. It was almost like a Braveheart speech by A.J. Hinch where everybody was ready to fight and run out the door and fight. I'm buying into it. I want this team to win, of course, but this is a better team. And maybe it's just as simple as that.
What does losing David Fry do to Cleveland? I mean, what hole does it kind of present for them? What do you guys think?
I don't know if it presents much of anything to
them. Yeah, I mean, I look, it's a loss for sure, but the Tigers lost Keith. It's kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean, they brought up one of their top prospects who hasn't played an inning of baseball in the majors and only had 148 at-bats, Chase DeLauder. He's got a high on-base percentage, decent power, high OPS, 852 OPS, but it's only 148 at-bats, and he split time between AA and AAA. I'm not sure why they think that's an answer, but it's just that's a counter, I guess.
Even despite what they did in the second half, the team that beat New York as well as and the Tiger team that played New York as well as they did is still there. And, I'm just counting on A.J. Hinch being able to bring that out of them. I think he brought it out of them there. I think he brought it out of them to, even down this slide, he was able to steer the ship and get it past the the breakers and really get them into the postseason. And anything can happen now. So All right, I will find this boot where I think it's in the attic in my garage.
Okay, yep. We'd like to hear back. Report back and let us know how it went. 248-539-9797.
Spiderwebs equal flavor.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what you tell yourself? Have you eaten a lot of spider webs?
No.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help
Your
them
stat
out.
of the day. Carson Anderson, 97.1, The Ticket. Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 A Ticket. Gators got the Tigers winning this series. I don't, but it's like my 51. It's one of those, if you had to bet your life savings on the outcome of this series, I would begrudgingly and reluctantly put my money on Cleveland. I hate everything about it, but I think Gavin Williams, the hex he has over Detroit bats, it makes this an equal matchup. Because he's been dominant against the Tigers this year.
He's great.
And the Guardians, I'm afraid, have figured out how to beat Skubal. And it's not, you don't beat Skubal, you get him out of the game. and 21 pitch first inning. Last time out, 18 pitch first inning. Both of the last two starts, 35 pitches to get through two.
But Skubal also has earlier this year, he knows that that's a way for him to get out too, because he had a complete game shutout.
Yep. And I think even in that complete game shutout, I think he still had to grind through the first. First inning's so big today. If you're watching this game and Skubal gets quick outs, it bodes extraordinarily well. And if it's an inning that's dragging on, it's going to feel like a slow bleed to me. And I just really, 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 really hope that we see the best of Skubal against this Cleveland team, and that he can work quickly and get through innings with the pitch count low. And it's not as important for the Guardians because they have a better bullpen, unfortunately. 248-539-9797. Why they have a better bullpen? Well, that circles back to an all-season discussion that people have been yelling at us for weeks. We go to Wes. You're on 97 a ticket. Hi, Wes.
Hi, how you doing there, Doug?
What's up?
I have a kind of a radical solution here. I'm going to do what Sparky would do, take the bat out of their hands. I will take Ramirez and Quan, every time they're off the bat, give an intentional walk, let their other 7 players beat us. That's on their offensive side. Now, we've still got, of course, score our runs. But you think that's too radical or what?
Well, it's interesting, Wes. Doug and I actually were just talking about it during the break, and it's something that I said that I would take the bat out of Jose Ramirez's hands for sure. Quan, as much as I respect him, and I'm tired of seeing him beat the Tigers with the little things, I'm not going to. I'll pitch to Quan because the damage Quan does is with doing those things by advancing a runner. If there's nobody on base, I'm pitching to Quan all day. If there's nobody on base, I'm probably going to pitch to Ramirez too. But if I've got a runner in scoring position and first base open, I don't want to pitch to Jose Ramirez.
No doubt, no doubt.
I would agree with that. I mean, that's me. I've often held that strategy. There are guys that I just don't want to beat me because they've been too good against the Tigers, and Jose Ramirez is one of those guys.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a Tiger killer, no doubt. Goes back in the days. Remember Dalton Jones and Ben Ogilvy? They were Tiger killers too. I'm going before your time though. But anyways,
then went out and got Ben Ogilvy. So
Dan is in Sterling Heights and he is next. Hi, Dan.
Hey, good morning, guys. Love your show.
Thank
you. I got up getting ready to go in the office, grabbed my Lions hat. I said, man, the Lions are, they're on it now. We got our winning team. And I said, what in the heck am I doing? Man, what am I doing? I went and I flipped the hat off. I went and grabbed my Tiger hat. And I said, our boys need support. Who gives a rat's tail what happened at the end of the season? All right, they did what they did. But they're there right now, doggone it. And the odds are in our favor. The Guardians, they can't just keep beating us forever. The odds are we're going to pull something on out here. So we got to support our boys, whether we're down on them at the end of the season or not. If it was your kid going into a game and you'd be dogging on them because you played crap for the end of the season, no. We got to get behind our boys now. It may be the last game, but they might lose it, but doggone it, they need our support. So let's step it on up and give it to them.
Well, and here's the other thing, Dan. This is supposed to be fun. In fact, this is supposed to be the most fun part about being a baseball fan is participating in the postseason. And, I get why they've eroded confidence in this fan base, but we went a long time without playoff baseball. And now it kind of feels like we're acting like we'd go to the playoffs every year, and this team isn't worth getting behind because we don't think this team really has a realistic shot to win it all. Neither really did last year's team. But last year's team, we were happy to be here. I want to behold and hang on to this moment. These are the most fun times to be a fan. Playoff baseball is intense.
It's awesome.
And even if it's in front of a half-filled stadium today because the Guardian fans suck and didn't sell out their stadium, so be it. It'll still be intense.
Half-filled.
Probably won't be half-filled, but there's a lot of tickets available.
There's tickets available right now for sure.
Way more than I expected. But, hey, thanks, Dan.
Chris McCoskey just tweeted out that Casey Mize will, in fact, start Game 2, Jack Flaherty Game 3.
How do you feel about that?
Feel great about it. I think Casey Mize should start Game 2. Get it done in 2. Why pitch a third game? Get it done.
They're not going to need to name a third game
No.
start? Yeah. I hope for the right reasons. 248-539-9797. Feedback to the Carson Anderson inbox. We got that Twitter poll you can vote on as well. But the MLB postseason is here. Tigers are in it. Typically reason to be excited. And some people are. Our previous caller was fired up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's exciting times indeed. Exciting times indeed. If you missed it earlier, Jared Goff joined us, and we had to move it around today. He was on at 10:05, so I know some people probably tuned in at 10:30. He usually is on Tuesdays. We'll replay it for you today at 12:15 before we get into Tiger baseball a little bit later. Dan Campbell, the best of what he had to tell the morning show. We'll get to that coming up as well, as he was interesting, as he usually is. But today we're getting our we're getting our predictions in and whether or not people think the Tigers can do it. And if so, why? Other than the reasoning that they are due. Because I think that's something that's applied to the Tigers. They were due for the last 3-4 weeks of the season to turn it around. And, as much as it's great, and that's baseball, that's part of baseball, is hot streaks and cold streaks. If we're predicting a series win based upon them being due, I really wish they were due a couple weeks ago and had a first-round bye, right?
That would have been nice.
Yep.
But that wasn't the case.
But as it stands right now, Detroit winning this series in 2 has the most votes on our Twitter poll with 31.8% of the vote. Detroit wins in 3, 26.6% of the vote. Cleveland sweeps 23.1% of the vote. Cleveland in 3 games, 18.5% of the vote.
If it ain't rough, it ain't right, Doug.
Who said that?
I don't know. Somebody said
The Pistons used to say that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, remember they kept, in the heyday, the going to work Pistons, and then they seemed like they were underachieve every now and then or play down to the competition, and they would lean back on, well, if it ain't rough, it ain't right.
Yeah, we can just shut you down for you thought you would score 80. Not up in here.
No. So kind of interesting here. I ran some numbers. This Detroit-Cleveland, the series, the back-to-back series to end the season. Didn't it feel like Cleveland just had completely, almost, I wouldn't say dominant, but it just felt like they were the better team every single game.
It felt like once you got to once Cleveland was able to get to the Tigers bullpen, it was over.
Yeah.
They had the timely hits. Stephen Kwan single-handedly in a couple of games owned the Tigers. The one game in particular was just insane. It was in Cleveland. Fly ball hit to left field into the corner. Should have scored Andy Ibanez. And in one move, one motion, he fielded it, turned, and threw a strike to the shortstop, Arias, who then gunned him down at the plate. And it's like, that just happened. That was the most perfect play that you can make. And Kwan made it. And then he did it again, limiting Torkelson to a single on a ball that should have been a double. And then he was chasing balls down in left center field that should have been up the gap for at least a double, perhaps a triple, and would have scored multiple runs. And instead, he chased down and caught him. He was unbelievable in the series against the Tigers just a week ago.
Yep.
Things going to change.
I was just running some numbers. The Tigers' on-base percentage against the Guardians in these 6 games was actually better than Cleveland's. The problem is the timely hitting.
Yeah, they're drawing walks, but they're not getting the hit. And when they did get guys on base and they did make hard contact with the ball, it was right at a player, and you'd double them up, or it would just be a line out to end the inning, a deep fly ball to the outfield that would end the inning. They just had no luck. That's got to change too. It's part of the it's due thing. But I'm falling back on this, and I'm going to feel, I'm not chesty about it, but I'm falling back on this. The Tigers are a better roster than Cleveland is. Full stop.
Well, there's a reason they're favored in Vegas, which seems odd, but they are favored in Vegas. See if that's moved at all from yesterday. Because the Tigers...
It's a slight favorite, but yes.
Yes, which we thought, okay. Well, weird, but I guess, outside perspective, we're a little too close to it, and all we see are the warts. They've grown to be a bigger favorite for today's game. And I gotta look for it. In the meantime, Judy is next. Hi, Judy.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
You guys do a good job. Watching the game against the Guardians over the weekend, they weren't swinging for the fences. They were hitting ground balls, and Tigers were still swinging for the fences. When they play usual baseball instead of swinging for the fences, that gives them the ability to use all their little tricks on the bases, and they're good at that.
Yeah, there was a lot of swing and miss from the Tigers. A lot of swing and miss for the Tigers against Cleveland, and that's the part that's got to be better. They have to be more selective at what pitches they are going to swing. Not everything that is thrown at them is a strike. And when you saw opportunities with bases loaded and guys would get a 3-2 count and swing and miss, like Riley Green did, I think, a couple of times, those pitches are well out of the zone, and he's still going for them. If he could just be a little bit more disciplined, it starts a rally. And I think that's a message A.J. Hinch can hammer home. Just be a little bit more disciplined.
Judy, thank you for the phone call. The best of what Dan Campbell told our morning show. Next hour, Jared Goff, Lions quarterback, thoughts on why he is playing arguably the best football of his career. Hey, FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. And if that bet wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. So you have options, all kinds of bets, but I will tell you the thing to do is just find a heavy favorite and bet them on the money line. That way, with your $5, you won't get a huge return on that heavy favorite, but you will get the $300 in bonus bets. Then you can build your parlays or player props, even though I'm not a big parlay guy, but you can build them if you so choose with your bonus bet money. NFL season's finally here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/Doug to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 years of age or older and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, today's football coverage is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays in the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. All right, it's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Let's get back to some football stuff here. With the Lions coming off a win over Cleveland, getting set for this game against the Cincinnati team that has really had the life sucked out of their season. Trey Hendrickson on the block. When do we hear those reports? I don't know. I mean, the Lions already lead the NFL in quarterback sacks. Maybe we should be looking in their secondary, see who we can pluck from the secondary. But in the main, with the injuries that are starting to pile up, Dan Campbell joined the morning show. The newsworthy stuff, it sounds like they've started the clock on Aleem McNeil, and he could be back way sooner than we expected, which is great news. He also had incredible praise of Tyleik Williams, saying you can't move him off the ball. You know, I've watched the last couple of years. The Ohio State Buckeyes were great against quarterback sneaks and runs up the middle. The Lions have shut down the QB sneak twice against Caleb Williams against Chicago and twice more against Joe Flacco. And you know what the constant is between Ohio State and the Lions? It's Tyleik Williams. Tyleik Williams might be – I'd like to see – if the Lions face Philly, we might get to see if Tyleik Williams could do it against the tush push, because the Lions have been exceptionally good against quarterback sneak this year.
Well, how about just exceptionally good at the goal line? Go back to the Baltimore game. And they had they had those the stands at the goal line, and he knocked them back, and then the fumble and all that, right? And we had the Zach Cunningham play. This team has so many bodies that are willing to sacrifice to stop that play, whether it was Zach Cunningham or Derek Barnes or Trevor Nowaski or Grant Stewart, let alone all the big fellas up front. These guys are, I think they take the challenge very seriously, and I think they relish it at times. Now, this week it's going to be Cincinnati, and look, and the Bengals had 178 yards on offense last night. They threw for 125. They ran for 53. It was pathetic, absolutely, positively pathetic. And on the other side of it, their defense gave up over 500 yards. Mm-hmm. So that's not a good recipe for Cincinnati to take on the Detroit Lions. But I think part of the salvo that Dan Campbell said after the game and said, hey, it was a good win. We'll take the win, but it wasn't good enough. That they got stuff to work on. I think that was a precursor to let's not rest on our laurels. We know that the Bengals may not be one of the upper echelon teams in the league, but they're still a team in the league, and they're still going to have fight, and you've got to be prepared for everything. Let's not let this one slip through the cracks. Let's not look past and see who we got after that. We're worried about this game right here, right now. We need to be better offensively than we were against Cleveland, and this is an opportunity for the Lions to really let it out.
And when he was asked about that this morning, he said, it's the players. He said that's the way the players are wired, which goes back to their vetting process when they bring guys in. They seem to have a very specific template for the type of player he wants. All right, so here's what Dan Campbell told the morning show. And we start with what impressed him most in the game against Cleveland. Gator, the job this offensive line has done is incredible. After week one, it was a very legitimate concern, given the changeover. And remember we said at the time, Hank Fraley's on it. Turns out Hank Fraley is a hell of a coach. And it's 3 games without a quarterback sack is amazing.
It is. They've done a tremendous job, and it's not just the offensive line. I mean, it's the quarterback getting up to the line of scrimmage and recognizing where they need extra coverage. It's the running backs doing their job and helping to provide protection when the blitz comes. It's on the tight ends to make sure that they get a chip if they have to. And it's recognizing where the trouble is going to come from. That first game of the season against Green Bay was, I think we're going to look back at that and say, yeah, it was a bad loss, but it was a great game to give us a template for how not to play the rest of the way. The Green Bay's got a couple of really good pass rushers, Rashawn Gary and certainly with Micah Parsons. And Parsons didn't play a ton of snaps, but you knew when Parsons was on the field, he was an impact player. Now, since then, Lions have had to face a variety of different fronts, and none was tougher than what they saw on Sunday. And Myles Garrett did not get home. There were a couple times he got close, maybe even gotten a hand on Jarrett, but he didn't take him down. And it's a credit to everybody involved. And it starts with the offensive line, and it starts with the instruction they get from Hank Fraley. And there's a reason that teams wanted to interview him for an offensive coordinator job. And I'm glad the Lions still have him, because clearly he is a difference maker.
Okay, more here from the head coach of the Detroit Lions, the quarterback play. Here's what he had to say about what they're getting out of Jared Goff right now. So 2 things about this. One is the word that I think that I would use to describe the way he operates now is precision. With elite precision, the offense and what they're asking him to do. And secondly is credit John Morton. John Morton, the new offensive coordinator, hasn't tried to reinvent the wheel.
No, and nor should he. You can tweak things here and there, and I think that the relationship that the head coach has with the quarterback, I think that the quarterback has with his teammates, and ultimately it's going to have to be the quarterback and the offensive coordinator to get. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and if they can jibe with each other, this is going to work out. It's been 4 games; they're 3-1, and the last 3 games on this 3-game win streak, the offense has looked very good, very potent, and I think that game against Baltimore really just kind of hammers things home. It was a tough environment to play in on Monday night on the road, hostile territory, and they got the job done. When things weren't looking good early with the run game, they didn't abandon it. They stuck with it. They knew it was going to come back, and it did. And they were able to run the ball quite effectively as well as throw the ball all over the place. And, it starts with being able to protect the quarterback, give him the time. And he has shown at home or on the road he can make the adjustments necessary, and so is Johnny Morton.
All right, that's the best of what Dan Campbell told our morning show. Coming up, let's talk some Tigers. Huge opportunity for this team. Can they take advantage of it? Get to that at 12:02. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Probably don't have a ton of time to talk about the Monday Night Football game, but to answer the question that's coming in via social media, Gator already accidentally saw the Tyreek Hill injury.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. That one was extraordinarily bad. When the leg gets basically stuck because the knee popped out of joint and it tore a bunch of stuff. And unfortunately for him, this could change the arc of his career. When so much of your game is dependent upon being just a step faster than everyone, and you suffer an injury like that. Ugh.
He's, I'd say over the last 10 years, the most exciting player to watch in the National Football League because of that speed. And I really hope that he has a career after this. But that injury looked like he was like you're sitting down and crossing your right leg over your left leg, except when you look back at it, it's his left leg that's crossed over his left leg. It's awful. It's so bad. I've seen worse, but that one's not good. That's really not good. And his reaction afterwards when he's being carted off and he's laughing and smiling and
he had to be drugged up, right?
I would imagine, yeah. Would imagine that that's probably the case. Just go ahead and shoot him up right away out there on the field. But I'm a big fan of Tyreek Hill on the field, and I want to see him back on the field and hopefully at full strength at some point next year. But sadly, that was a tough one to watch.
That was bad. All right, so Tigers taking on the Guardians today. There were fields of seats available on the Guardians website. I suppose it's probably too late for people to head down there now. But if you're, listening in Toledo and think maybe I can get there for some of this game, you can go support the Tigers. But hey, look, they say new season, start over. This team needs some sort of reset. They stumbled home, and Gator, you build a case around their pitching. I think that's why they're going to win the series. I build it around. Because I think Gavin Williams versus Tarek Skubal. Gavin Williams versus the Tigers is basically, he is Tarek Skubal. And so how do we build a case? I build a case around Gavin Williams getting knocked around by the Yankees last year in the postseason. And if the Tigers can get to him early and put it back in his head, here we go again. Because he wasn't good last year in the postseason.
Yeah, it was one appearance and he gave up 3 hits, but it was 3 runs they gave up on those 3 hits. And let's hope that they get that friendly reminder that you're not all that. What I don't want to be talking about tomorrow is how the Cleveland Guardians are able to out Skubal. Because Gavin Williams is great. Mm-hmm. And we've seen him be phenomenal against his team just as recent as like a week ago. Hopefully that's not the case. But the Tigers, what they do have going for them, more so than Cleveland, at least in the head-to-head series, the Tigers are able to get some guys on base. They haven't had the timely hit. So it's time to get the timely hit.
They got they got about as many guys on base as the Gribe did. In fact, they had a better on-base percentage in these last 6 games. But you're right. Their home runs were solo shots.
Yeah, they need to lift it over the fence when there's somebody on base. So, either you're cutting the lead and really cutting into the lead and tying things up, or you're extending your lead by more than just a simple run. One run, it feels like in a series against Cleveland, isn't going to cut it. You need several runs, because what Cleveland has been able to do against the Tigers is get to the bullpen. When they get to the bullpen, they eat the bullpen up. And for whatever the hell reason it is, the number 9 hitter for Cleveland in the last 6 games seems like that's the guy that did the most damage against this team, aside from, Jose Ramirez and Quan. It's not a formidable lineup from top to bottom. They have formidable players, a couple of them that we've mentioned. But they have to make sure that they get everybody else out that you're supposed to get out. Don't let somebody be a hero on Cleveland that is not heroic.
John and Livonia on 97 a ticket. Hi, John.
Hey, fellas. How's it going?
Okay.
Hey, the most frustrating part about losing this division to Cleveland was after we went 12-1 back in July, all the callers and texters saying, I'm putting money on Cleveland to win the division, blah, blah, blah. And no way they were right, bro. Because those guys were so cocky, and they were right. And it's like, how were they ever right? We had a 15-game lead, and how were they right? And how did they know? And it's just like, Also, Terrion Arnold sucks.
248-539-9797. Carson Anderson. In the meantime, Scott, how do you feel about not having Colt Keith for this series? Because I'll tell you, I would have felt a lot better if Andy Ibanez could do Andy Ibanez things. And he finished the season on a high note against Boston, but it feels like he's he came through last year in the postseason. Can he do it this year?
I really wish that they had. Obviously, I wish that they had Colt Keith. Colt Keith has been a real nice addition to this team. And, last year as a rookie, he started coming into his own towards the end of the season. This year, he kind of hit the ground running. He's been a solid player. He hasn't been outstanding, but he's been way better than average, which is good. And unfortunate that he's not here for them right now. But you mentioned Ibanez. Yeah, it's the situational guys have got to be good. Ibanez, Jahmai Jones, Justin Henry Malloy, these are the guys that will be coming off the bench as pinch hitters. They have got to provide something for this team.
When their number's called, it's usually because it should be in a matchup that benefits them.
And that's what happens. That's what A.J. Hinch is a master at, is giving his guys that opportunity. The other thing that's going to be curious to watch is how Cleveland decides to pitch with Kerry Carpenter, and when they decide to bring in the left-handed relief pitcher to come in to face Kerry Carpenter. How early does that happen? And will AJ say, okay, if it's a sixth inning, I'm not going to give up Carpenter because I want to have Carpenter hit in the ninth inning when they don't have left-handed pitching, or whatever the case is. It's a point counterpoint. And what are the Tigers going to do? What is Cleveland going to do? I think Kerry Carpenter could be a very pivotal player in this series.
Well, look, we know he's capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he gets some good postseason vibes. The highlight of his career took place there. As you're trying to recapture, when teams are slumping and players are slumping, what do they always say? They go back to, showing them highlights and when things are working out. It was standing in that batter's box that he hit the most important Tiger home run in years.
Yeah, there were guys there are guys in his lineup. I mean, Parker Meadows is another one that had a moment last year. He hit a home run in Cleveland towards the end of the season. Launched a line drive over the wall in right field. Riley Green has hit home runs in Cleveland. These guys have the sense memories of being successful at times, whether it's just a single at bat or if it's a whole game where they end up winning it and celebrating. These guys can get it done. It's like I say, this is a more formidable lineup than what Cleveland has. Cleveland's got a couple guys you really got to watch out for.
They feel like they're unstoppable.
They might, yeah, kind of, because they have been in a way, but you can't rest on the other guys either. Just take care of business against the other guys. Don't look past them, but get them out.
And there was an era of Justin Verlander where he couldn't win in the postseason. And then there was like 2012, 2013 Justin Verlander where he couldn't lose in the postseason.
And then it was Justin Verlander when he was an Astro, which really couldn't.
This is what they need Skubal to be. Skubal's been there now. It's his second go-around in a postseason. And mixed results last year, good outing and a not so good outing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a short. Did he have a short rest in that game 5?
I don't think so.
Is that possible?
No, I don't think it was.
Am I making stuff up?
Because as much as I can sit here and say Kerry Carpenter, it was on that. Kerry Carpenter was on that in that batter's box that you hit that important home run. Unfortunately for Skubal, it was on that mound. That game 5 did not go the Tigers' way. 248-539-9797. Jared Goff, Lions quarterback. What's the secret to the success this year? And he's about to pass a bit of a milestone here in Detroit. Hear what he has to say next here on Carson Anderson on 97.1.
Hey, is it time for a new garage door? Well, if it is, here's the people to call. Precision Garage Door Service. I will tell you firsthand what it's like. It's great. The guys come out, they walk you through the entire process. John and Jeff, they know what they're talking about, give you all the different options to look for, and you get to pick out the garage doors that will be perfect for your house. And here's the thing. In a lot of cases, you can have new garage doors installed in less than 24 hours. That's because they've got a warehouse that is full of brand new garage doors just waiting to be installed, and their highly trained technicians know exactly what they're doing, and they'll get the job done right. Give them a call today, 1-800-DOOR-REPAIR, or you can visit their website and schedule an appointment online at a time that works for you. PrecisionDoorMI.com. So go ahead and give them a call at 1-800-DOOR-REPAIR or schedule online at PrecisionDoorMI.com.